I'm so pleased, I should say, to have with me Kelly Eisner from the American Red Cross. Thank you so much for being here. You drove all the way down from Boston, so we really appreciate that.
Thank you.
You have started a partnership with the American Cancer Society,
yes.
and it's called Give Blood to Give Time.
Yes.
What are you trying to do with this initiative?
It really is just, this is the first time on a national level our two organizations have partnered, but we're in the same business. You know, when it comes to blood donations and it comes to cancer treatments, both are directed at saving lives. And one thing that I don't think people always realize is how much blood is used, blood products are used in the treatment of cancer.
I had no idea before I read what you sent me. So give me examples of why cancer patients need blood.
Well, it comes from a lot of different things. I guess I should backtrack and talk about a blood donation. When you make a regular blood donation, there's actually three things that you're giving. You're giving your red blood cells, platelets, and plasma. The platelets are kind of your body's clotting factor. They're, you know, if you cut yourself, they're what fix it. But those are crucial when it comes to cancer patients because a lot of the treatments actually wipe out your body's own natural platelets. So these platelets go directly, more than half of the platelets that the American Red Cross collects go towards cancer patients. And then it also, a lot of the plasma has to do with your immune system, and you know, some of these chemo drugs, they wipe out your body's ability to fight off infection.
And you become anemic.
Exactly.
I was talking to a cancer patient today, and she was telling me that she needed 3 transfusions, which surprised me, but that's why we're here to talk about this. How much of the population gives blood?
It's, you know, we'd like to see that number be a little bit harder. It's about 3%, 3 out of every 100 people.
Only 3%.
Right. And that's, you know, I think a lot of people don't really realize that they're eligible. I get eligibility questions all the time, you know, well, I'm 75, I can't donate, and chances are you can. I mean, there's always, you know, things that you have to ask about, medications and stuff like that, but more people can donate than I think do on a regular basis.
Understand that they can. And you've chosen Cindy Crawford as a spokesperson to get your message out, and I just want to listen to what she's saying.
I was 8 years old when my brother was diagnosed with leukemia, and I remember my parents coming home and telling us that, and I didn't really know what it meant. What I saw was that instantly it takes over the whole family. And my brother Jeff died when he was almost 4 years old. I was 10 years old. So I was very honored to be asked to be part of this partnership between the American Red Cross and the American Cancer Society, because so many cancer patients undergoing treatment, they need blood to help them get through their chemo and all the other treatments that they have to go through. Being able to shine a light on these kind of causes is my way of remembering Jeff, but it is part of our life, and we don't have enough people giving blood. Only 3% of our population gives blood. It can be something you do on your birthday, even if you just do it once a year. One time you give blood can help save 3 people.
So there she is. I had no idea that she lost a little brother to leukemia.
I know.
So how long is this program going to be, and how long are you rolling this out?
Well, we hope that this partnership will continue, but the public part of it is the rest of the month of February. And what we're doing, we use a hashtag, Give Blood to Give Time. We just want people to share their story. You know, what you'll see if you look at both the American Cancer Society and the Red Cross, our social media and things like that, you'll see a lot of images of people. You know, Mary beat cancer 3 years ago, and thanks to blood donations, she has since, you know, bowled a perfect 300, or some of these kinds of things that people have done since. It's really, we want this to be aspirational. We don't want it to be depressing, but we want to drive home the message that when you donate blood, you're giving people this chance to have these extended lives. And
have you done a lot of partnerships like this in the past, or is this a big one? Because you're trying to up your donors.
It definitely is. It's this one's unique because, again, these two large organizations in the nonprofit space really have never teamed up like this before. But again, we realized that we're doing a lot of the same work and reaching the same people, you know, and we're just trying to kind of bring awareness to an issue. Unfortunately, nowadays, I mean, we know what the world is with social media. It's hard to get a voice, and, you know, the Red Cross and the American Cancer Society are lucky to have a really large share of that voice. So if we can team up, maybe people will notice.
How else are you trying to get the message out? I mean, Cindy Crawford is a terrific example and she has real-life experience in this as well. So social media is going to help a lot. Like you said, you have two powerhouses.
Yes.
The American Cancer Society and the American Red Cross. So you bring all that social media together and you start getting awareness. But I just, you think about people giving blood and you want to do your part. But this is bringing new meaning. It's giving you the why behind it. You think of car accidents, and you think of blood transfusions, but you don't think of the cancer patient so much. And how many more people will we have diagnosed with cancer in the state? Maybe 20,000 more.
It's true. Just in Connecticut alone, that was one of those eye-opening statistics. When I saw that, I was like, is that number right? Just in the year 2020, something like 30,000 more people right here in Connecticut. And that's, every state has a similar number to that. I actually have a personal connection to this. I've been a blood donor for a long time, but my mother is right now going through a cancer battle.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So, it hits home in a way. There are so many people that have this touch point with cancer. If you haven't survived it yourself, you know someone that's been in that battle, or you've done a walk. It influences so much of what we do. And if you are not in a position where you can make a financial donation, or you want to volunteer your time, but you just don't have, 20 or 30 hours a week to be able to give, this is something you can do in an hour on a weekend,
And that's another thing you bring that up, is that if you can't give blood, if you can give a donation, because the American Red Cross does so much. You think about them being, at fires, but what about transportation to go to your chemo treatment?
The American Cancer Society has this great program that, again, sort of as a family member / survivor, I had never really been aware of until I started looking into this. It's like, oh my gosh, they'll drive you to your chemo, or they'll drive you to your appointments. It's amazing, and these, there's such a need for it. Unfortunately, I want to see the day where we don't need to be here. I will gladly resign if we can beat cancer in our lifetime. But
let me ask you, what else does the American Red Cross need besides donors, just on a daily basis? So maybe volunteers. What else?
Absolutely. So I always say the three things you can do are blood, money, and time. Those are what keep us going. But it doesn't have to be a big chunk of any of those things. I talk about, after your blood donation, you sit at a table and you have snacks. If you work for a company that, makes snacks. We actually, here in Connecticut, we had a partnership with Deep River Snacks where they donated chips to our blood drives. And it was this amazing thing because, it's local. It's something you're in Connecticut. It's very unique to Connecticut, and you see this, and it kind of reminds you that we're not just this big overarching national organization. We also have these local touch points as well.
It just brings home that we all need to work together to get this thing beat,
Absolutely.
And like you say, a little time, a little donation, so a little blood, makes a big difference. So this initiative that's rolling out, other things happening in 2020 that you can share with us?
Sure. We're also working on a big partnership in June. It's sort of a campaign that we've had some luck with before. It's called Missing Types, where the letters A, B, and O represent the main blood groups, and if they disappear, you notice them. So we've worked with a lot of companies to drop those letters out of their logo just for a short time, and then share a picture of what that looks like, and it's jarring in a way that just kind of reminds you, right, those are blood types. They very well could go missing from the shelves.
I'm O negative.
Excellent.
So, right. So I'm the universal donor,
yes,
but I need O negative.
And that you bring up a really good point that, yes, your blood can go to anybody, but you can only receive O negative blood, and it's constantly in demand. That is the type of blood that hospitals reach for, when things are happening fast and there's not a lot of time to type a patient. We know that, or they know that they can put O negative in and it won't be a problem.
Right, so there you have it. So Kelly, thank you so much for being here, and I hope this rolls out, and I hope you get tons of donors, and the American Cancer Society, American Red Cross, this marriage will go on.
Thank you so much. And that's the other thing too, even if all the other things that I named, the time, the money, everything, just share it on social, tell a friend. If you're going to donate blood, bring someone with you. Even if they don't donate at that point, just let them see what the process is, that it's not super scary. It's and you can feel good about what you're doing.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Spend all night kissing and the bottle's right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked to find myself wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. Skip right ahead to the last ride.